Good morning and welcome. I would like to welcome all of those attending and those watching remotely to this meeting of the New York State Unemployment Insurance Appeal Board. This is our fourth and final meeting of 2024, and we are located today in the board's headquarters in Menands, New York. I wish to thank all of those attending and watching this meeting for your interest in the operations and management of the UIAB. We are an adjudicated body with jurisdiction over disputes regarding eligibility and payments concerning New York State unemployment insurance. Thank you for your continued interest in this consequential work. My name is Geraldine Riley, and I'm the chair of the New York State Unemployment Insurance Appeal Board. This meeting has been noticed, the draft agenda has been published, and the minutes from the previous July 17th, 2024 meeting have been circulated to the members, and the public has been invited to observe in real time. This meeting is being recorded and will be available, along with the minutes on our website, https://uiappeals.ny.gov. I would like to begin this meeting by expressing my thanks to all of those who have supported the work of the board in addressing the many challenges that we face. I would like to thank the staff and leadership of all of our offices, and of course, and primarily, I'd like to thank my colleagues on the board for their work and encouragement and support. For this meeting, I would like to again acknowledge the myriad technological innovations which we have accomplished this year. Since we last met, we have accomplished through the leadership of our chief ALJ, all of our principal ALJs, and our director, a virtual hearing environment for the convenience of our public and our staff. And we have initiated virtual board hearings as well. We will soon begin a completely paperless procedure for our hearings. Many thanks to our leadership team for bringing the UIAB into the technological age. We will hear more about these exciting projects during the executive presentations, but I can assure you that 2024 will continue to be a year of technological advancement, which will change many aspects of how we do our work, all in the interest of serving our customers and our employees in a smarter and a better way. Virtual hearings have been implemented, and UISIM and other innovations are on the horizon. As ever, it is my hope that this consistent schedule of board meetings presents a board that is proactive and accessible, and a board which aggressively addresses the 21st century challenges that we face and that we anticipate, and that we address those tasks with optimism and confidence in the skill and effort of our many talented employees. Each board member and each staff member is serious and interested, industrious and engaged in their approach to the important work that we do, and I sincerely thank them for that. I want to acknowledge and thank our Chief Administrative Law Judge, Tracy Covey, who is based in Syracuse but is here today in Menands, and who has worked tirelessly to advance the mission of the board. Tracy assumed this role in a time of pandemic crisis and has been a judicious leader ever since. I want to acknowledge Lee Brown, our hardworking, very skilled and dedicated executive director, who is with us today in Menands as well. And I wish to thank Principal ALJ for Appeals, Christopher Tate, who is with me today here, for his work in the higher authority and whose expertise is far-reaching. Chris will be delivering an expanded report today. I want to extend my gratitude to Heidi Kelly, who is taking the minutes today and who has done so much to make today's meeting happen, and to Amy Higbee and Nastasia Tripp, who will be assisting in our technology today. After our meeting, we will have a short training session for board members on an examination of the legal elements of credibility in our decisions, and will be delivered by Principal ALJ Allison Ferrara. Thank you, Allison. Before the call to order, I would like to remind members, staff, and the public that our next public meeting of the board will be held on January 15th, 2025. Thank you. Our first order of business is a roll call.
Thank you, Chair Riley. I will first note that you are in attendance in Menands, and I will take the remainder of the roll call. When I say your name, please say that you are present and note your present location that is accessible to the public. Board Member Randall Douglas.
Randall Douglas present. Manans.
Board Member June O'Neill.
June O'Neill is present and in the Ogdensburg office of the Labor Department.
Thank you. Board Member Marilyn O'Mara.
Present, Elmira Office, Department of Labor.
Thank you. Board Member Michael Greason.
Present, Brooklyn office.
Thank you, Michael. Chair Riley, you have a quorum.
Therefore, we can proceed. Thank you, Lee. And next order of business is to review and adopt the draft agenda for today's meeting. Could you please take a moment to read the agenda, which has been circulated and published? Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So move.
Thank you, Randy. Is there a second by Michael Greason? Thank you so much. And now a vote. All in favor of adopting the agenda, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Marilyn,
Aye.
thank you. The motion to accept the agenda is unanimous. It has been adopted. Now we turn to the adopted agenda. Our next item is the reading of the minutes from our July 17th meeting. And to adopt.
Madam
the-
Chair, I
Yes.
move that we waive the reading of the minutes and accept them into the record as presented.
Thank you, Michael. There's a motion now to waive the reading of the minutes and to adopt them into the record. Is that motion seconded?
Second.
Thank you, June. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Motion is unanimous. It is accepted. We have waived the reading of the minutes and they are adopted into the record. Our next order of business is our Executive Director's Report, which will be delivered by our Executive Director, Lee Brown.
Thank you, Jerry. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful seeing you all this morning. As we end this year, we are working on wrapping up some modernization and customer service projects. The BSA team, which includes Amy and Anastasia and I, are working closely with DOL contracts to include additional language access enhancements to the virtual hearing platform and long-term hearing recording storage optimization. Based on the contract process, the language access enhancement will be pushed to 2025. I am happy to report that we did recently add a customer service survey at the end of our virtual hearings. So the live hearing survey link was added to the page that normally will say your hearing has ended or no more hearings are scheduled, page of the virtual hearing center waiting room. There's text that's added that reads, "We welcome your feedback about your virtual hearing experience in our voluntary survey." And the link is inserted behind the words "voluntary survey." The survey is confidential unless the participant decides to add their hearing ID. And it simply asks for the type of device that they used when they checked in and joined the hearing, if they checked in 15 minutes early, if they had any issues checking in through the WebEx, and if the participant thinks the platform is easy to use. And those questions help us as we navigate the virtual hearing platform to make sure that it is meeting the needs that we expected. Couch Covey and I are working closely with ASO to develop a work group to enhance the ECF transfer process from ASO to UIAB. From there, Couch Covey and I are working within our team and the UIAB to transition from all of our paper case files to ECF throughout the hearing and appeals process. We've had numerous discussions over the past year, and this initiative will help us move closer to a better position when UISIM goes live for administration and judicial staff. This change will upskill our judges and our admin for UISIM, and it will reduce paper, reduce mailings, streamline workflows, and allow more remote work for our employees. For example, the admin currently work remotely 20% due to paper restrictions, so this will enhance their remote work and more. This change does not eliminate work or the number of administrative staff needed to do the work because this particular work cannot be automated at this time. Transitioning from paper to ECF enhances workforce flexibility for personnel and builds resilience. When a weather or health event occurs that requires judges and admin staff to work remotely, ECF allows the board to continue its core mission seamlessly. At the July board meeting, I shared that we developed metrics to measure customer service through our IVR system. I'm happy to report we regularly exceed the high goals that we set for our administrative team. The industry standard tracking overall customer service in an IVR is 80%. We set the goal at 95%, and we started tracking at the end of the second quarter this year. In quarter two, we were at 97.08%, and in quarter three, we're at 95.57%. In quarter three, there was a dip in the second week in July due to a system issue, which we uncovered in the IVR. So while tracking customer service in the IVR reports, other issues come to light much faster since we're keeping an eye on it and we can respond promptly. UISIM is on track, and we are planning to go live when the system is ready. Our UIAB trainers, which includes our judges and our admin, had training during September to look at the system and do some testing in the system. The feedback was positive about the ease of using the system. Couch Covey and I are working with the UISIM team to add more staff for the system UAT to ensure the board is ready for go live. Our judicial and administrative staffing level is currently at 180 employees, and recruitment is discussed regularly within the executive team. There are numerous studies and data about turnover in the workforce. To give you some numbers, about 30% of the workforce changes jobs every 12 months. The good news is there is data that supports that employees stay in the private sector positions twice as long as the public, or stay in the public sector twice as long as the private sector. Whereas in the private sector, employees stay in their job 3 to 4 years. So in the public sector, we're 6 to 7 years. So that's good news for us. Leading up to the pandemic, many of our judges stayed at the UIAB for all or most of their careers. Couch Covey has been tracking judicial turnover of new employees since the pandemic. Since the hiring freeze lifted in 2021, UIAB judicial tenure of new judges reflects what we see in the workforce tenure nationally. Chair Riley, Couch Covey, and I developed a strategy to stay ahead of the turnover trend. Couch Covey and I met with DOL Finance to discuss a strategic recruitment plan for judges due to the high percentage of judges who are eligible for retirement this year and next year, as well as data Couch Covey has been tracking for turnover of new employees since the pandemic. Due in part to our ability to share real data and our continuing commitment to track these employment trends, DOL approved the UIAB's plan to conduct 2 big recruitments each year for 15 UI referees in each recruitment. This proactive initiative will help us keep our judicial numbers where they need to be, rather than being reactive and posting when someone retires or leaves for a promotion. This stability will support our commitment to our core mission. We continue to receive quality lists from the New York Helps, and we'll continue to capitalize on this program to keep up with retirements and promotions. Our BSA team and administrative teams are staffed up, and we can continue to develop that talent through the great training that Edge develops and provides, as well as Coursera, which is another opportunity that DOL offers employees to find college level training for free. There has been a lot of change in staff over the past few years, and we have modernized work through our projects. Overall, I could not be happier with how well everybody works together to move the board forward. Change is not easy, and we have made great strides. I'm proud of this team and our culture that we have built at the board, and I thank you all. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much for that. Are there any questions or comments about Lee's report? I would just like to thank you, Lee, and the team that you're working with in recognizing how fundamental customer service is to the work that we do, and how you have really exemplified that effort to incorporate customer service as a function of our work, whether it be the survey of the hearings. At the end of the hearing, we want feedback. This makes feedback easy. And the fact that we have attained up to 97% customer response so far superior to the industry standard of 80%, really speaks well to the hard work that you and your team and the ingenuity that you're approaching with. So many thanks for that.
I'm interested to know if we've had any customer feedback on the virtual hearing itself.
Last I heard, I was not in the office yesterday, but as of Friday, nobody had answered the survey yet. So I'll keep a close eye on that and certainly update you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Mhm.
Is there a motion to accept the director's report and incorporate it into the record?
So moved.
Thank you, Randy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. There is a motion to accept the report. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye. It is unanimous and the report has been accepted. The next order of business is the report from our Chief ALJ, Tracy Covey.
Thank you, Chair Riley, and good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm happy to have the opportunity to provide you with some updates on the judicial side of our operations today. I would first like to tell you about a promotion that we've had since the last time we met. As Chair Riley indicated, Allison Ferrara was officially appointed to a principal administrative law judge position in August of this year. She's worked at the UIAB for over 12 years as an ALJ and then a senior ALJ in our Brooklyn office, has served as our training coordinator since 2020, and is also our continuing legal education administrator. Her experience, dedication, and thorough understanding of our training needs, policies, procedures, and practices allowed her to seamlessly transition into the PALJ role. She has already been an important member of our executive team for some time now, and we are very excited that her appointment is finally official. Now, turning to recruitment news, as Executive Director Brown reported, we are excited to announce that DOL recently approved a new hiring strategy, allowing us to hire up to 30 ALJs next year. While this may seem like a large number, our statistics show that with staff eligible for retirements and trends related to other attrition over the last few years, we will need to bring on that many judges to keep staffing at a stable level to be able to address our inventory. We intend to post 50 positions by the end of this month, with a start date planned for mid-March 2025. We will then post another 15 positions in late May or early June for a class planned in mid-September. Focusing on hiring these bigger classes will be much more efficient from a training and onboarding standpoint. It will allow us to proactively plan for the future, unlike our current model where we can only hire once individuals leave employment with us, creating a situation where we are always understaffed and need to backfill those positions. Our two new hire classes from this year, one that was hired in the spring and one that was hired in the fall, continue with their progress. Our spring class of 4 is now on full calendar and can handle a wide range of issues. Our most recent new hire class of 6 will be finishing up with their intensive phase 1 training over the next 2 weeks. They have already held misconduct hearings and voluntary quit hearings, and all reports are that they're doing very well. Now, switching gears from personnel to our quality numbers, our federal quality review scores remain remarkably high. For the second quarter of 2024, we had an average score of 99.12. This, as you know, was based on the 20 randomly selected cases that were scored according to the 31 federal criteria. All of these cases achieved the U.S. Department of Labor's passing grade of 85 or higher, with 13 of the 20 scoring perfect 100s. We are currently conducting FQRs for the third quarter of 2024, and I will report on those in our January meeting. Now, while our quality remains high, we still struggle to meet the USDOL acceptable level of performance markers at the lower authority. We reported an average case age of 57 days to the USDOL as of June 2024. And our own internal validated data for August 2024 shows that the average case age is approximately 67.24 days. Although our overall inventory is starting to decrease, our case age continues to rise above that acceptable 30-day level. This is because with our current backlog, we are not at the staffing level to be able to quickly schedule, hear, and decide the inventory that we have. For customer service purposes, we are focused on scheduling the oldest cases first, and we are hopeful that with the 2 significant rounds of hiring next year, we will be in a better position to address our own growing backlog. So far in 2024, the lower authority has issued decisions on over 25,000 case numbers, but we are unable to maintain compliance with the requirements that we complete 60% of those cases within 30 days and 80% of those cases within 45 days. Now, with regards to the numbers at the higher authority, we're going to switch things up a bit today and have Principal ALJ Tate report on those numbers and some other exciting happenings that have been going on this year. In other initiatives, I'm excited to report that we will be creating a continuing legal education library in 2025. We intend to have 1 to 2 hour training videos for CLE credit that will be accessible to attorneys across the Department of Labor. This on-demand free CLE library will be a benefit to both our legal staff and to legal staff across the state. It will also raise people's awareness of the work we do and the law we administer. Now, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to you today. As this is the yearly board meeting that falls during football season, I will conclude my report by saying, "Go Bills." I hope you enjoy the rest of your fall.
Good thing they had a win the other night.
They did, good thing.
And they now have a good receiver.
Yes.
That's just-
Thank you, Tracy, for your report and commentary.
Go Bills.
Are there any comments or thoughts regarding Tracy's report?
You know, if I may, Shirley, timeliness, you know, it's more of the quality that we're putting out. You know, you can only do so much with the staff that we have, and it's the quality that you're pushing and they're achieving. So I don't have an issue with that. I wonder what happens from the US DOL. What do they do to us if we don't meet those standards after a certain amount of time?
Yeah, we work with them and develop a corrective action plan to address that, the timeliness issues, and to see what we can do internally to push the cases forward and to hopefully be able to meet those. And we have recently entered into one of those and will be hopefully back within the correct numbers within a couple of years.
I think you've done amazingly well with the staff that you have and the product that you're putting out. So kudos. It's tough to meet some federal standards. As a former politician, I remember trying to meet some federal standards that just are impossible to meet at some time when you don't have the proper staffing level.
Yep. And we're hopeful that with the New York Helps program and the recruitment efforts that we've been engaged in over the last year, that we will have really qualified applicants like we had in this last class that we hired, and bringing those new folks on board should really make a dent in the work that we do and speed us up quite a bit.
Wonderful.
For
Any other
recruitment,
thoughts?
are we reaching out to law schools again like you did last year?
We have been reaching out. We did reach out last year. We have a couple of folks in that are Albany grads that are going to be reaching out. We had someone reach out to Buffalo Law School recently. We also had someone reach out to, I believe, Syracuse. So we continue with those efforts.
Right, and the City University as well. We have a
And-
number
and
of
CUNY.
CUNY and New York Law, some New York City law schools. So we have continued that effort. I do want to congratulate Tracy on your achievement here. As Randy mentioned, trying to balance excellence and timeliness is difficult, but the excellence speaks for itself. And of course, the excellence is also fundamental to customer service, to achieving that degree of excellence for the people that we serve. It's hard to think that the average score is 99.12% is just fabulous, and it really speaks to your commitment to achieving that. And also, I think I heartily applaud the hiring strategy that will, I think, almost prepare us for the future by establishing a steady stream of very talented and excellent ALJs who you've been able to hire and continue to hire. We'll have a dependable stream now that we can count on and integrate into our year-to-year program. So many thanks for that, Tracy. Are there any other questions or thoughts? If not, I will accept the motion. Is there a motion to accept the report from Chief ALJ Covey and incorporate it into the record? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Marilyn. Is there a
Second.
second?
Second?
Thank you, Michael. We have a motion before us, which has been seconded to accept the report. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. That motion has been accepted unanimously. We move now on to the report of the Principal ALJ for Appeals delivered by Christopher Tate.
Thank you, Chair Riley. Good morning, everyone. I am pleased to provide you with updates on the higher authority and recent appellate division cases. First, I will report on our numbers. We continue to be in compliance with overall case age requirements. New York's last reported data to the US DOL for July shows that our average case age was 38 days. We are also close to meeting the appeals time-lapse requirements. US DOL data for June shows that we completed 253 appeals that month, with 34.39% of those cases completed within 45 days, and 71.54% were completed within 75 days. We have also seen some changes this year in our processes. As you know, we have been holding additional board hearings in many appealed cases requiring a further hearing, rather than remand the case to the hearing section for a new hearing and new decision. This has helped streamline our processes so that parties are able to obtain quicker resolution on their cases. I'm also happy to report that we will be doing more cross-training of appeal and hearing judges in the coming months. In November, judges assigned to appeals will be assigned to conduct hearings so that they can learn to use the electronic case file and gain more experience with the virtual hearing system when we go paperless in 2025. In January of 2025, several hearing judges will rotate to appeals for 6 months at a time. This will assist with the work at the higher authority while further enhancing their legal knowledge and skills. As to recently decided court cases, matter of Barry was decided on October 3rd, and the site is 2024 New York Aptiv Lexus 5054. Here, the court affirmed the board's decision disqualifying claimant from receiving benefits because he voluntarily left employment without good cause. Claimant was employed as an acquisition agent whose duties included purchasing and delivering a variety of products to be tested and reviewed. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, he worked remotely from March of 2020 through October of 2021. As COVID-19 restrictions eased, claimant was informed that he was required to return to an in-person work. However, in October of 2021, claimant was placed on a short-term disability leave based upon a medical diagnosis of anxiety and agoraphobia, and was scheduled to return to work in April of 2022. Upon expiration of his short-term disability leave, he was given the option of returning to work, applying for long-term disability at 60% pay, or taking an unpaid leave of absence. Claimant wanted to continue working 100% remotely and did not return to work or avail himself with the other options. The employer concluded that claimant voluntarily terminated his position. The court found that claimant did not take steps to preserve his employment, including providing medical documentation that he was advised not to return to work. Citing matter of Cabrera at 215 Appellate Division 3rd 1208, the court found that a claimant may be disqualified from receiving benefits where he or she fails to return to work or to take reasonable steps to protect his or her employment following the expiration of a leave of absence. The second case is matter of Park, and that was decided on October 10th, and as of Friday, there has been no case cite for this case. The court affirmed the board's decision holding claimant ineligible from receiving benefits because she was not totally unemployed, charging her with a recoverable overpayment and imposing penalties for making willful misrepresentations. Claimant lost her primary employment due to the COVID-19 pandemic and applied for benefits online. She enlisted the help of her daughter in applying for benefits and authorized her daughter on her behalf to certify that claimant did not work during the weeks at issue beginning March 18th of 2020 and ending March 18th of 2021. As a result of those certifications, claimant received state and federal benefits. During the time claimant certified for benefits, however, she was working as a home health worker for her mother, working 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. The court found that for the period prior to January 17th of 2021, claimant was ineligible to receive benefits despite earning less than $504 per week. For the period after January 7th of 2021, the court found that as claimant acknowledged working 4 hours a day on the 4 days that she worked, she was not entitled to a full week of benefits during that period. The court also found that there was no dispute that claimant did not disclose to her daughter, who was certifying on her behalf, that she worked part-time so that accurate information could be provided upon weekly certification during the relevant time period, nor did claimant contact the department regarding the proper certification process, instead relying on the advice of a friend. Citing matter of Stoddard at 228 Appellate Division 3rd 1198, the court held that a claimant is responsible for accurate reporting and must disclose any employment activity when certifying for benefits, and there is no acceptable defense to making a false statement, and that a claim that the misrepresentation was unintentional is not sufficient. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Are there any thoughts or comments or questions for Christopher's report? Hearing none, I would just like to comment that, Chris, you have established the all-time record for a case for providing the synopsis of a case decided in six days ago. So that is the newest summary that we've ever had. Quite impressive. And I also do want to congratulate you on your initiative regarding cross-training judges and bringing that kind of innovation to really skill up our staff, to make them more flexible and the work more interesting, and that in yours to the benefit of the board. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chair Raleigh.
Yes, Rich.
Have the judges been receptive to that, to the cross-training?
They actually have been. They are looking forward to it. They've been included in a lot of trainings that are going on.
Wonderful.
Along with the hearing section on a lot of virtual hearing issues.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, we have a staff that is second to none. The excellence in legal expertise and legal skills is really quite remarkable. And I credit you, Chris, and our chief judge for being able to establish a staff that is so knowledgeable. So thank you for that. Is there a motion to accept the report of the Principal AOJ for Appeals?
So moved.
Thank you, Randy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, June. All in favor of accepting the report and incorporating it into the record, please signify by saying aye.
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 Hearing no negatives, the report is adopted unanimously. So thank you for that, Chris. We turn to the agenda, which signifies we're up to other business. Is there any other business that we need to discuss? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Randy. Is there a second on the motion to adjourn?
Second?
Thank you, Michael. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. The motion is unanimous, and the board meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Heidi, if you want, you can stop the recording and